welcome to Rathalos Watch. This is the 29th episode of Should X Monster Return to Monster Hunter Wilds. In this episode, I will be discussing an early game monster from Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Great Maccao. As always, we'll delve into the monster in greater detail, covering its first appearance, overall reception, memorable aspects, visual design, combat style, and ultimately, whether it should return to Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll explore how Capcom could potentially bring back the monster, what they should or shouldn't change, what new interactions they could implement, and how the monster could fit into the next generation of Monster Hunter in terms of mechanics and design philosophies. If you've been enjoying this series or want more hardcore coverage of Monster Hunter Wilds, then do not forget to subscribe, and also feel free to join our Discord and speculate about Monster Hunter with passionate fellow hunters. Link is in a pinned comment. Without further ado, let's begin. Great Maccao is classified as a bird vibrant and was first introduced in Monster Hunter Generations, which was a part of the 4th generation of Monster Hunter. The game was released in Japan as Monster Hunter X for the 3DS in November 2015, and then internationally in July 2016. A sequel, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, was released for the Nintendo Switch in Japan in August 2017, and a year later in August 2018 for the rest of the world. Similarly to the Great Jaggy, the Great Maccao can call for Maccao to aid him in battle. However, he is not able to command them like the Great Jaggy. When he is out of stamina, he will go and start feeding on eggs in a nest. This monster managed to rank 144th place in the Hunter's Choice for top monster during the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter. Fun fact, Great Maccao is the only bird vibrant leader that has 2 breakable parts, unlike Great Jaggy, another leader type bird vibrant, which only has 1. Great Maccao can be first encountered in a 2-star village quest, Vaulting Outlaw, in the Jurassic Frontier locale. He may also appear in the Ancestral Steppe and Ruined Pinnacle. This monster can range from the smallest gold crown size of 701.63 centimeters to the largest gold crown size of 1275.78 centimeters. He is weakest to the fire element and has 2 breakable parts, his head and tail. His fighting style is inspired by Muay Thai, a martial art from Thailand. Hunters can also use sonic bombs against this bird vibrant. If hunters hit him while he's propelling himself with his tail, he will fall over and drop a shiny item. So what makes Great Maccao so memorable, or rather an interesting monster? Well, first and foremost, he was a brand new introductionary monster in Monster Hunter Generations, so people who have played Monster Hunter Generations as their first Monster Hunter game makes it easy for this monster to stand out, since it's one of the first things you fight early on. On top of that, he is a bird vibrant with a unique fighting style and visual design that's rarely seen. I mean, how many monsters are there that are a mix of a raptor dinosaur and a parrot? Virtually none. That's why the Great Maccao is a monster that's hard to forget. He also has a really catchy theme and was the first monster to use his tail to support himself while standing. Very few monsters utilize this mechanic. Bishaten from Monster Hunter Rise is one of the only other examples. Since his introduction, Great Maccao hasn't appeared in any other mainline titles, giving him a unique status as a one-game exclusive, which makes him more memorable for those who fought him back in the day. Plus, he doesn't have a deviant or subspecies, adding to his distinctiveness. Let's dive deeper and talk about his visual design and then his fighting style. The Great Maccao stands out from its pack due to its distinctive feathered crest. While it shares some similarities with its smaller counterparts, the Great Maccao is larger, more robust, and has more vibrant plumage. Its powerful legs allow it to deliver strong kicks and move at impressive speeds. Additionally, its spike tail enables it to launch itself forward and perform high jumps with significant force. What I like about his looks is that he is the closest monster that resembles some sort of exotic parrot. There are very few video games that have parrots as some sort of characters, NPCs, or enemies. I just love his colors and the fact that it is essentially a parrot-like raptor. Very unique looking monster. Now let's talk about his fighting style. On occasion, he will try to launch forward and start kicking whatever is in front of him. This attack can deal a lot of damage. Just always be ready to dodge out of the way and never stand in front of him when this happens. Sometimes he may also try to body slam you sideways. Once again, watch for how he positions himself so you can properly go to the correct side to dodge it. If you are behind him, he may start throwing a tantrum and try to hit everything that's around him by jumping up and down, slamming everything with his tail. If you manage to hit him while he's standing on his tail, you can actually cause him to flip and fall to the ground. This will give you a massive opening window for a ton of damage. When he stands on his tail, sometimes he may stay stationary while also kicking the target that's in front of him. Do not ever stand in front front of him whenever he's up on his tail. Last but not least, he may also launch forward while trying to swipe you back to back with his claws. This launch covers quite a bit of a distance, so it's best to pick a side and run to it. Now that we've discussed his aesthetics and combat style, we have to ask the question, should the Great Maccao return to Monsanto Wilds? And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him again, but also wouldn't be too upset if he doesn't make it. I will say though, I can easily picture him roaming in the Scarlet Forest. It is the perfect environment for him thanks to his beautiful vibrant green colors. It's also unfortunate that Capcom never gave him a subspecies variant or anything like that. If he does return, I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of a different version of him either, depending on what the other locales are. I think the biggest issue with adding Great Maccao is the fact that there are already so many early game monsters in Monsanto Wilds, including Chotacabra, Doshaguma, Young Kutku, Kangalala, and who knows what else. The more early game monsters you have, the harder it becomes to find someone to fit into that early game roster slot. And if Capcom does ever decide to bring back the Great Jaggy, then I'd rather have the Great Jaggy instead of the Great Maccao. Also, make sure you check out my Great Jaggy video from a month or so ago. Many people really enjoyed it. You can go to it by clicking on the card in the top right. The only other option I see is if Capcom decides to add him in the gene rank expansion and buff the hell out of him and make him an introductory gene rank hurt pack monster. I believe that in order for Great Maccao to return, he would need quite the shakeup in the combat department, and his AI would need to be far more advanced. I would be very interested in seeing how he interacts with other monsters. Since Great Maccao likes to feed on eggs when he's out of stamina, I think it would be really cool to see him run off to a young Kutku's nest and start eating their eggs. I believe there's a lot of room for some interesting ecological interactions. Do you fellow hunters believe that the Great Maccao is a good fit and deserves to return to Monsanto Wilds? Or would you rather see something completely fresh and new? How do you see him interacting with other monsters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me which monsters you'd like me to cover in future episodes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Peace out and happy hunting.